guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I am going to be making beads. Now I've got a bit of a sort of a mass making bead session going on here today. So I've made these lovely little paper beads, and I've used the paper that we did the other day, which is the Crackle medium and acrylic paint, and I do have a little bit of metallic paint in there as well, which is beautiful. So I thought, I've got enough of this paper, I'm going to make some beads, of course, to make some dingly danglies. I have put over the top of these, to make them all nice and shiny, and maybe last a little bit longer, some resin. So UV resin I've used, because I'm loving that at the moment, which is the Let's Resin, and I also have the little UV light here, which is fantastic. But again, you don't have to use that. You can use embossing powders. Clear embossing powders will do the same thing. You could use a bit of diamond glaze. You could use a little bit of varnish, or you don't have to use anything at all. But I think they are fabulous. So look at that. I've got some pink ones because I saw Sue. She did some lovely pink Crackle in the Facebook group. She showed pictures, so I had to do some because I thought, how lovely is that? And it will go with all my shabby bits. But I am loving them. So I'm going to put those to the side because I'm going to show you what we are doing. These look like they're sort of, you could eat them, don't you? They look like they should be on a little buffet table. So I've just popped them onto two little cocktail sticks or toothpicks, which are lovely. So these are ones that I've just made. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Now I've got a couple of pieces of card here, which I've already marked out with pencil lines. So I'm just going to show you how I did it. So let's just see. I'm going to just put this one down. So I'm hoping you can see that. I'm going to go in a little bit closer, just so you can see the little triangles on there. So what I did, I've taken a piece of paper. Let me put all my bits to the side. And I think it was, it doesn't really matter how long. I think that was 3 inches by 7.5 centimeters long. But again, it depends how long you want your beads. These triangles are a little bit bigger on here. But these ones I have measured 1/2 inch, each 1/2 inch like that. Okay. And then when I've gone down here, I've put it along there, and I've just gone at the 1/4 inch. So it's still 1/2 inch, but I've just marked it at the 1/4. But you can just move it along like that at 1/2 inch and measure like that. But you need it so you've got a little gap in between. So this bit has to be in the middle. So when you measure it, you need to go in between. So you need to go into that 1/4 inch, so you know it's the middle. And then just take your ruler and just follow the dots like that and mark it down. This one, which is the bigger one, I did 1 inch. So I've measured 1 inch like that. So you just measure that, and then at the bottom like this. Oops, I'm not in the right place. Do apologise. At the bottom, I've measured 1/2 inch on there, each 1/2 inch. So that makes you are right in the middle. So this one, did you see that one? Was I in the wrong place? This one, I measured 1/4, each 1/4 inch like that. So you've got it in the middle of there. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense and you could see that. And then all as I've done then, I've got my scissors, so it doesn't really matter which way you do it. And then I've just cut the little triangles off like that. So it's very, very simple. So let's just cut these down, and we will do some. So these are lovely, and again, you don't have to have, you can do it with any papers you've got. This is watercolor paper, 300 GSM paper, so it's quite thick. So you want a thickish one, but if you're doing thin photocopy paper, you will probably want to have these a lot longer, because you know, the thinner the paper, the thinner the bead is going to be. I won't use that one. So that's your little triangles. I'm going to do the bigger ones as well, because I think the bigger ones will probably be easier for you to see me do. So I'm just going to just cut these out. And I must remember to move my camera because we are quite low, aren't we? Let's take that one out. Let's go back up again. There we go. Okay, so we've got all these little bits and pieces. I'm going to take these because I've got another little section of them here. I'm going to put them all on this just white paper for a second because I've got some ready here, which is the bigger pink ones. And I just want to show you what I have done. So that's this one here. I've gone around the edge. I've gone around with my the little chrome markers just to give us a little edge on there of gold, so you don't see the white edge. And then I'm going to just colour this bit in. Put it down on the paper so I don't get pen all over my table. So that's the little gold bit on the inside. So when you see these, I've actually got gold in the middle, so it's not white. Isn't, you know, it's something that you don't have to do, but I think it looks quite nice. It just sort of finishes them off nicely. So I'm just going around the edge with the pen. Now we can do lots and lots of these, and you can also keep these in your stash as well, can't you? I've used this pen so much that I think it's probably running out by now. Okay, so that's that one. I'll turn them over this way so that dries a little bit better. Okay, so I've got another 2 of these ones. Again, this is optional. You don't have to put this on, but you can also use the wax, the little gilding wax on here as well to give you a nice little bit of colour. But again, do them whatever colours that you want to do them. You can just roll up magazine paper and things like that. You don't have to use papers that you've made. Just use what you have. You could even use just copy paper and then just colour it yourself with whatever. Draw little patterns on it. You know, there's always something you can do. You can use book paper. I've seen book paper ones. So let's just finish these ones up, and then I'm going to show you what I do. I've got the silver ones as well, so I've got a silver pen. So let's just colour that bit in. Lovely. So we've got those, and these are the silver ones, look here, which are lovely. But I would like to do some other little silver ones as well. So let's just go along the edge. Nice little bit of sparkle on there. Of course we do. Can't do anything with without a bit of sparkle, can we? So let's pop that on there. I do have some already done. Just to save time, let's go around this little one. I'll probably do the bigger ones because they're a little bit easier for me to show you. Like that. Right to the end. I didn't do the middle of these ones. Well, not the middle, this end bit. On these ones. It's just the bigger ones that I did. Okay, so that will do. Close that up. I'm going to take some of these, all the ones that I've done. That one I've done as well. Pop them on the table because I think we'll probably see a little bit better on here. All my little bits everywhere. Pop those to the side. I'm going to have lots and lots. We don't want that one. Right, this is a little one like this. Let's pop these to the side so you can see underneath. Now this is what I've got loads of. So I've got my little toothpicks, or whatever you'd like to call them, and I've got my little triangle, and I'm going to use my awl. So you need a little something to wrap it around, and I'm going to just try and give it a bend like that. So just pull it, because this is quite thick. You want to give it that little bend to start with, and then you want to just roll this around, just so you've got a nice size hole in there, like that. Roll it around like that, and I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to do a couple. I think I've already made this one round, so just roll these around, just so you've got that nice rolly shape, your little bead shape. And then we're going to do some silver ones, pink and silver. So we want to just do that. You can do that to them to start with, like that, just to soften that paper up, and you know that it's going to roll up nicely, like that. Let's get some of these little gold ones. I do love these blue, love them. So they'll be nice ones, wouldn't they, to use. Right, so let's roll these up like that. Give them a good roll. Now again, there are different shapes that you can do in these. You don't have to have the triangle. You could just roll a piece of card up. It depends sort of what sort of shape bead, but I'm not really too fussed like that. These ones are fine. So let's just pop that in. Roll it up. They need a good roll first so that they keep their shape a little bit. It's a bit hard. And then we are going to unroll them and glue them up. There we go. Nice little roll like that. Okay, and then we are going to unroll them. I'm only doing it like this because this is watercolor card. And it's quite thick, but if you're doing just paper ones, you would, you could just glue it and just roll them up. But I want these to sort of have their little bit of shape first. There we go, perfect. I'm going to take my glue. This is just some tacky glue in here. I'm going to just squeeze it out. Make sure you get the end, the tip. So that's the bit you really want to glue down. I'm not going to glue all of it. Just going to glue, this end bit. And then I'm going to leave them just so that glue gets a little bit tacky. And then it would be a lot easier to stick to itself then. So let's just put a little bit of glue on there. Those down, or we can do 3 of each, like that. These are such a fun thing to do. I was doing these yesterday evening, and they're really good. They're quite sort of addictive once you start doing it. I think they're lovely. So one piece of paper, will go make you a huge amount of beads. And it will probably work really well with little scrap pieces of your digital papers if you've got little pieces left over that you've cut off, sort of like the end of your, if you're cutting, making a journal or something. Let me just put those over there. They will probably work really well, the little leftover bits. Right, I'm going to just roll this up. When you roll it, you want to sort of try and keep it in the middle, because that gives you that nice shape. Can you see? So just pop it in there. Oops, that didn't work, did it? Just trying to show you too much. There we go. You want to hold on to it and just roll it. This is where you get very, very sticky. There we go. Just keep rolling that like that, and then that's all nice and rolled up on there. Got a bit of glue on me now. So you want to just roll it around, but try and keep it, like I said, in the middle. Not the easiest to show you. Just roll that on there so it sticks nicely. The end bit needs to make sure the end bit's stuck on there. Roll it round. And this is where you can see, this is why I did the edges. Let's just run, you can see on there, you can just about see this, oh, is that blurry? The silver just on the edges there. How's that little, those little lines would be white. Well, that didn't work, did it? This one came undone. Did I not put enough glue on this one? I think I just messed this one up completely. Is that going to stay? Let's see. This is why you want to give it a bit of a roll first, because then it will sort of like keep its shape a little bit easier. Roll that on. Make sure that's stuck in there. I love this copper and blue. It looks very like verdigris, doesn't it? Patina look. It looks lovely. Just roll these lovely pink ones up. You can always add a little bit more glue to the end. Don't think that one's going to stick. There we go, persistence. There we go, that's stuck nicely. And then we will do this one like this. So this is quite a nice thing. Oh my gosh. This is quite a nice thing to have in your stash, isn't it? Because obviously I like to make my dingly danglies, and to have all different beads and little things to hang on things is perfect. So there we go, that's lovely. Now this is optional, this is just me being finicky and fussy, but I got a little bit that sticks out the end. I don't know whether you can see, just where I've rolled it. I don't know whether you can see on there. There we go. You've got this little tiny bit there, which is just sticking out. I wanted to make that flat. So I'm just gonna just snip those off, because when you hang them on something like this, like that, you want the bead to be quite flat at the bottom. You don't want anything sort of like sticking out. So I'm just sort of like chopping that little corner off. Oops, and the other end. But again, you don't have to do this. This is just me being a little bit fussy. But I like to, if you're going to do it, might as well do it properly. A little bit. It only sort of like happens on the bigger beads, not the smaller ones. There we go. Then I'm going to take my gold and just cover up that little bit, like that. Little bit on there, just on the end. Then I'll get my silver one and do the pink and silver. I think pink and silver works really well, doesn't it? Just meant to be, I think. I'm going to add a little bit more silver to the actual bead in a minute, but I'm going to pop it onto the cocktail stick first. Okay, so we have 6 little beads. Now what I'm going to do, because obviously this hole is bigger, so that cocktail stick is just going to go, it's just going to go straight through. So what I've got my sellotape dispenser here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of sticky tape and wrap it around. Just wrap that around, stick that around, and that just makes it a little bit wider, so that fits on really well. So it just sticks on like that. So I'm going to do that to these. As you can see, I've got lots here I've already done. So just wrap a little bit of tape around there. Depends how big the hole is on your bead. If you didn't wind it very tight, then obviously your hole's going to be a little bit bigger. So that will stick on there. You want it tight because when you do your resin, you don't want your bead moving off your little stick. So I'm just going to wrap it around. You can wrap a little bit of, if you've got bigger holes, just wrap a little bit of paper or something around that first. A little bit more. and then it will sort of like hold it on a lot better. Just pop that through like that, because you want to be on there really tight. And the reason I'm using these cocktail sticks is because I've got a little bit of foam and I can stick them in there like that in front underneath the UV light. Oh, look, I've got one on here, so that will just fit on there. 2 more to do. So it's very simple. Just show me, you can sit there and just make a bunch of these. Don't know whether that's going to be enough on there. And these are reusable, so you can, you know, make more. You don't have to make more. You can just, once your beads are done, they will come off and you can just put them on there. One more. Pop that on there. Wrap that round. Is that enough? I think that's quite a big hole on that one. Yeah, a little bit more. Little bit more on there. Wrap that round and pop that in. Fabulous. So there we go. We got some little bead lollipops there. Fabulous. And as you can see, I've got more here. This one is some digital paper on this one. So that's just on there, which is quite nice. That was a bit of digital paper on there as well. But loving them. These ones haven't been done, but we shall just do these ones. Okay, so that's those bits out of the way. Let's get a little bit tidy, shall we? Right, I want to get my silver pen again. And on these ones, I'm just going to add just a little bit more silver, just so it's got a little bit more sparkle. But again, you can add all sorts of things. If you wanted to add little bits of glitter on there, you can add glitter on there. I don't know, you can add all sorts of things, but just a little extra. Is that going on there? Can you see? A little extra, little bit of sparkle. Stick it on there just to let it dry. Then just on this one, just a little bit. There we go. Once you've sort of like made your basic beads, you can just add whatever you like to it. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure if you enjoy doing it, you will find other, you know, things that you can add to them. You could probably do a sort of a nice little bead. I will be making some fabric beads as well at some point, because I do like those as well. Right, I'm not going to add anything else to these because these are just lovely. I just love them. Okay, now the resiny bit, let's take those off. I'm going to take my little lamp here. Does this come out a little bit more? Not really. Let's move my bits out the way so we can see. I'm going to take the lamp, I'm going to push it down so it does that, because I'm going to then just slot this through there like that, and then we've got this bit is the light. Can you see? This is where the light's coming from, and then when I'm putting resin on the other ones, it's sort of hidden away from me, if you know what I mean. So let's take these off for a minute. I'm going to pop them this side. Now, there's a couple of ways you can add your resin. I just go straight in. I just take this like this. Now, I'm not going to touch it. I should be wearing gloves, really, but I'm not going to touch the resin. But what I'm going to do, let's move this over. I'm going to go straight on with the resin, straight out of the bottle. Now, you must keep sort of turning it, because else you're going to end up with a big blob and it will drip off. But just add a little bit at a time and just go around with your bottle. You see it's going to drip off. Just run it round. Then when you've done that, just keep twisting it like that, so the resin, you know, goes around. And then what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to take that underneath and I'm going to just twist it in front of the light for a bit, just so it hardens it up like that, and you know it's not going to drip. Now these do need a little while under the lamp, so I normally, with the other ones that I did, I put them under here for 2-3 minutes, and then at the end I popped it on for the 20 minutes and left them under there, because the thinner the resin, for some reason the longer it takes to harden. So then that's why I've got my little thingy-majiggy there. I'm going to turn that round like that, so I can't see it and the light's not coming through, and I'm going to use the resin again. But what you can do, let me just find something a minute. What can I do? I'm just going to take one of my little pots. I'm going to tip some resin on here, especially if you do that when the light's off, really. I've got a little silicone thingy-majiggy here, a little tool, and I can take it and then just wipe it over. So if you're not happy doing it straight from the bottle, you can use this, or you can use a brush. It's up to you, but just so you've got a nice thin layer of resin over. I do just prefer to go over with the bottle, but you can just brush it on, you can just wipe it over. This will give you a thinner layer than the coming straight out of the bottle. But again, if you don't have resin, you don't have to. You can skip this step and just have your beads, or you can have the heat embossing powder, where I'll just turn that back on, where you can just pop it into like a sticky ink pad, clear one. I'll pop a link down below for that, and then dip it into some clear embossing powders. So there we go. Can you see? Whoopsie daisy. That's just on there. So I'm going to pop that in the light, under the light. You can see that, and just twist it like that, just so we can sort of harden that up like that, just for a little bit. And then I'm going to just pop that into that little bit of foam. I'm going to pop these out of the way. I'm going to get a wet wipe and just wipe this off like that. You can clean that up with a little bit of alcohol on there. There we go. But I find it very, very easy just to take it from the bottle like this and just pop that on. If you can see if I'm in the right place. I don't really want to do it above the light because it hardens it, obviously. I'm going to just put that on like that. Keep twisting if you can, just keep twisting and sort of like drizzle it on, and move it round. There we go. So that is on there like that. Can you see? Is that blurry? There we go. And then just keep twisting. When it's wet, just keep twisting it like that under the light. Give it a little twiddle. And again, if you feel like you've missed a bit, you can always add a little bit more. It's not a big deal. You can see I'm just going to pop that in there. And these ones are hardening lovely on there. Can you see? And they just sit in there, and we just turn the light on. I'm going to just turn it around that way a little bit, just so I can do some more without it affecting the resin that I'm using. So I'm just popping it on. If you feel like you're going to get resin everywhere, please do pop gloves on and make sure you've got your window open if you're using resin. So I'm just popping it on, twisting it around. Keep twisting as you do it so you don't get little drips on there. Like that. On the end, I think that's pretty good. Just keep moving it. Pop that under the light like that. You can see, just so it's in front of the UV light. Oops, I think I've made this one You can see there, can you see the big blob on the side on that one? It's because I stopped twiddling it. So you have to keep twiddling and twiddling. I'm just going to stick this in there like that. I can always straighten that one up. I'm going to turn it round, just go back like that a little bit, just so I can show you a little bit better again. Pop these on, take your resin and just straight from the bottle. I suppose you could dip it in, but I wouldn't dip it in because you'd get it right in the holes. So you just want to just wipe it over just a little bit. Just keep moving your bead. There we go. Hold it properly. Turn the light back on. There we go. Okay, keep twisting and keep twisting and keep twisting and keep twisting, just so you don't get the little blob that falls off. Twist it round. So they're very, very, very simple to do. And then, you know, there's options you can do it. If you don't like resin, or you don't have resin, or you don't use resin, then again, you can, there are different options. I'm just going to do the last one a moment, and then I will make a little dingly dangly. I'm in the sort of middle of making one, so I'd like to finish that off to pop onto my journal. So let's just turn a bit on. Take your time. Do you know what I mean? Twiddle it, but you know, take your time. Make sure you have covered all the areas. I am doing it a little bit quick, like that. But just go around and just twiddle it. Twiddle it around. There we go. Keep twiddling. Bring that forward and twiddle that. Twiddle. Keep twiddling. There we go. Do that just so you can see. Pop that in front of the light. Doesn't need very long. It doesn't take long at all to harden the outside. It just takes a little while for them to sort of like cure completely. So the longer you can pop them under your lamp, the better. So a little twiddle. I'm going to take that, pop that in there like that. And I'm going to move my lamp. I'm going to pop that on there for 5 minutes. When I'm going to pop it round so it's out of the way, so we can't see it, so it's in there. Pop the lid onto my bottle and leave those for a minute. So look, I've got all of these to do later. Now you know what I'm doing, and these are the little ones. I've done the bigger ones because they're easier to see when I twiddle them round. So this is the little dingly dangly that I'm going to be finishing off. So it's just 3 bits of chain onto a little lobster claw clasp, and then they are just 3 different lengths of chain, and then I'm just adding the little beads because I've made this little journal. Well, I'm in the middle of making this little journal, which is a very simple one, and I just wanted a little dingly dangly, of course, to hang off it because it goes with the little corners on there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to pop on the front. I've got this beautiful little bunny rabbit. That was from the Ko-fi kit, the free Ko-fi kit for this month, for the monthly subscribers. I've got that. I've got this beautiful rose that would go on there as well. I've got some of these which are from my typed ephemera, and that says hand-dyed fabric, and this one's a box of contents, and that's got acrylic paint, it's got scissors, it's got a little supply. So I wasn't quite sure whether to sort of like do a little sort of a collage on here or pop that so we've got a little pocket. So decisions, I will figure that out, but I know I want a little dingly dangly off it. So I have made a little hole in here punched a little hole out in there, but when I covered that, I know that there's a hole in there, so you know, it's easier to do before than afterwards. So that's where this is going to go, which is lovely. So I've got some, let's pop that over there. I have got some little what are they called, jump rings. I got my jump ring, which is lovely. So I hope you guys have bought this if you do lots of bits and pieces like this, because it is fab. And I've got a little box of little flathead pins on here in a different you know, colours, silver and brass and bronze. And I also have under here, I have some little bead caps. So I've got my tiny little bead caps in there. So we want the little diddy ones this time. You know, obviously optional. All of these things are optional, but I think they make really pretty little beads, little dingly danglies. So let me, oopsie daisy, I don't know what that was, it fell off. Let's just take a little bunch of those out so we've got some on there. Oh, and I want some silver beads. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's get one of my little triangles, because these are going to go absolutely everywhere, aren't they? Otherwise, let's pop that in there, because I want some little silver beads to go on the end as well. Oh, I've forgotten. I've got my little pinch clips here. Oh, maybe I should be making something with those. See, looking in all of these things, I just want to do everything. I've got my little tool there. So I've got all my little tools. So we're going to take one of these. I'm going to take a, which bead? Shall we have a little tiny one? I don't think we want ones that are too big, because it's only a little dingly dangly. So I've got ink and all sorts up my fingers. I'm going to pop a little bead on. Do we need to come in a little bit closer? Should we come in just a fraction closer? I'm going to pop, I don't think I need a bead cap on this one because they're quite small. So that just goes on there like that. Really rather simple. Little silver bead like that. Hold that in. And then we'll pop it onto our little looper. I use the 1.5mm one. That's the one I've got. I don't have a bigger one. But because I only make sort of like little dingly danglies, I don't think I need one too big. So we've got that one. I'm going to just turn these around this way and pop them back in again for a couple of minutes. So we've got that one. And we have another little one here. Should I put a bigger one on there? Maybe we will go for a bigger dangly. So let's pop a silver bead on. I'll have a bead end, a little bead cap, I mean. Pop that on. Can you see? I think they just look really, really pretty on the end. Oh, this isn't big enough. I need a longer one. I've got longer ones in here somewhere. A little bit bent, but they are longer. There we go, that's better. That one was a little bit too short for my bigger bead. Pop that in there. That's the nice thing about the box of mixed sizes. You're guaranteed you're going to have something that's going to fit. Oops, I forgot my bead. Forgot my bead cap. Let's put that one on. There we go. So that's what that looks like. That looks good, doesn't it? And then I'm going to take my little loopy tool, pop that in there, push that down. Oops. Push that down as far as it goes. I'm not doing a very good job today. It's not quite. It's got to go through that little back hole, and this isn't quite long enough to do that. There we go. Gosh, if I can sort this out. There we go. hold that like that, push that through, there we go, and then squeeze that down. I just broke the bead. That was a really dreadful example of that, wasn't it, guys? Do apologise, but it just shows you not everything goes to plan, does it? So I'm going to have to take that off. I'm going to pop my little bead on. I think I just pushed it too tight. Oh gosh, do you know, I'm going to use a little. I'm going to go for a little one because I don't want to get another. I want to use this little flathead pin. There we go. And not waste it. That goes on there like that. Hold that on. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Let's try again with a bigger one. Let's get the bigger one out. So the trouble is, let me get these. Just going to straighten this. Straighten that up a little bit. There we go. Right, let's start again. See if we can do it without breaking it. Little silver bead. I think these little caps are just a bit too big. I'm going to pop this little one on because that's a little bit smaller. I'll pop the bead on. That's better. We'll pop another little, let's find a diddy one. That's a little diddy one. If I can pick it up. Pop that on there. Pop a little silver bead on. I'm trying to do this with my arms sort of stretched out to make sure I'm under the camera, and I think it's a little bit awkward. Right, I'm going to put that in there if I can. I won't put it too tight this time. There we go. Make sure I don't break the bead. There we go. Ta-da! There we are. Look at that. Fabulous. Lovely, lovely. And I just think they look like sort of like a turquoise bead, don't they? Right, what do we need? Should we hang it? Should I do? You could probably do with sort of like 2 on each one. So I need to do one more. And I'm going to do a smaller one. Let's take one of these. A little bead. Little bead in there. Pop that on. Another little silver bead. Like that. And then just... There we go. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Let's pop that in there. We don't want that one. This is a little broken bead. Okay, guys. Let's... Oh, I need that. Don't need these ones. Let's close that up. We need our little jump rings, so let's open those up. Now we've got 3 little ones on here, so I'll pop that one, I think, on the middle one. Let's take a jump ring. Where's my pliers? I'm going to just open that up. So this is how the little jump ring works. It just, you pop your jump ring in there and just twist it. And that just opens it up. Pop that on there. Take the end of this one. Clip it through there, and then you just pop it in there again and close it up. Oh, so much easier. I must leave this out because I didn't do a very good job with that one actually. Because I'm starting to use it a lot, and then I put it away and forget where I put it. Because I'm clever like that. Let's pop these little bits out of the way. My craft room is an absolute disaster area, but do you know, I know where everything is. So I'm absolutely terrified to tidy up because I know that I will lose everything. Oh look, I got my ring thing on. I've just opened it up without pop that on. So I don't know whether you're the same. Do you find things better when they are messy? That's the wrong one. Let me twist that round. This has got 4 different sizes for your jump rings in there. Look at that. So look at that. Doesn't that look yummy? I think that looks lovely. How many beads did I make? Did I only make 5? I'm sure I made 6. Never mind. Let's open that up. Pop that on. Where should we hang this one from? A little bit higher up. There we go. Sure, I made 6 of them. Is that me not counting, or did I lose it? Never mind, let's make another quick one so we can finish this. So where should we put this one? Let's link that through. Like that. I'm going to hang this further up to the top. Look at that. I just think that's so lovely. And these being all handmade, I think it's fabulous. I just love them. Right, I'm going to have to make another one. Let's pop a little bead on. Should I make a bigger one? No, because that's going to hang on there. I'm just going to have a little one. Let's have a little one. I've got some little ones. Oopsie daisy. Like that. Little bead. Little bead in there. Oopsie daisy. Pick it up. There we go. Pop that in. Put that in there like that. I love this little loop maker. It's fabulous. Let's take one of these. Open it up. And where should we hang this one off? I'm not going to hang it off that one. I think I'm going to hang it so there's 2 on the longer one. Or 3 on the longer one. Like that. I think that will look better, won't it? So there, look at that. Not quite happy with that one. I think that little opening's too big. I might redo that one. We shall see. I will have another little look in a minute, but look at that. Fabulous. Lovely little dingly dangly, and I just think they are so pretty. And I like the resin on it, I think, because it makes them almost look like they're ceramic, doesn't it? Makes them look like little ceramic beads, but they're just your paper, which is fantastic. Right guys, let's have a peek at these, see what these look like. They're pretty good. This one's got, I think, a little, well, no, that's not too bad. I thought it was a little bit sort of lopsided, but it's not. But that's how it's come out. So I will pop these out. I will take them off. They're little sticks, and we can reuse those. But look at that, fabulous. I will pop these under the light. Oh look, we've got a little extra. Can you see? Can you see that little extra little nubble there? That's got a little extra one on it, but that's okay. We've got this little one. I just think they're lovely. I really, really do. I know it's not a new thing. I know it's quite an old thing, but it's something that I don't really make, and it's a good mass making. I'm going to pop that on there, look. Can you see me extra little bubble on there? A little lump on there. Now you could leave it like that, or you could actually make it a lot bigger with a bit more resin on there. So I'm going to pop these under the lamp again and leave them for at least 20 minutes, 10-20 minutes, because I want them to be really, the longer you leave them the better, because they do, sometimes they can be quite tacky. So if you find that your things are quite tacky, they haven't cured enough, and you would think that the thinner the resin you put on, the quicker that it will harden, but that's not the case. They do take a long time. The thinner, for some reason, it takes a little while to set. So there we go, guys. That is, I'm going to just keep carrying on, but I won't do it on video, But look at that. I just think they are fabulous, aren't they? I just love them. I'm going to carry on and make some more because I've got all of these ones to do. But loving them. Love, love, love. So I hope you'll give that a go. I hope you make yourself a little dingly dangly. So that's just a piece of chain, and then I've just hung it on the chain. So it's very, very simple. And on a lobster claw clasp, and they just dangle off. And I think that would look lovely even on a you know, a vintage journal, wouldn't it? I think they're beautiful. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I have another big bunch of these. Now I will be making these because I just, you know, I don't want it to go to waste, and I love them. I think they are lovely. So that's going to be my afternoon. Busy making. So there we go, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye.